On August 5, 1962, Marilyn Monroe, the eternal symbol of Hollywood beauty and cinema, passed away suddenly in her home in Los Angeles. Her death, while tragic, was not unexpected for those who followed her turbulent life. A woman who lived in the spotlight, yet behind her perfect exterior lay an inner battle with loneliness and personal struggles in her final years. The house where Monroe died became part of her legend, with simple belongings, photographs, and mementos of a woman who had faced isolation even while being a global star. The darker parts of her life were never widely known, and in the room where she passed, only the eerie silence remained, a symbol of a woman who lost herself in the complexity and pressures of life. Despite her fame and beauty, Monroe was often alone, and her final days left behind more questions than answers. How can such a great name fade into oblivion? Marilyn Monroe was born as Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1, 1926 in Los Angeles. Her childhood was marked by hardship, living in foster homes and lacking the love and support of a stable family. Yet she quickly became a symbol of allure and beauty, discovered as a model and eventually transitioning into film. Monroe became an enormous star in the 1950s, with films like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes and Some Like It Hot. She captured the hearts of audiences not just for her stunning looks, but for her humor, acting talent, and undeniable screen presence. Monroe was not just a star, but a symbol of the golden age of Hollywood. Her charm and talent made her an icon, and she became a worldwide symbol of femininity and desire. However, behind the lights of fame, Monroe's life was full of struggles. She was married 3 times, and all her marriages ended in failure. She faced ongoing psychological challenges, battled substance abuse, and perhaps most painfully, felt an overwhelming sense of loneliness despite the attention and admiration from the world. She could never seem to escape the darkness lurking beneath her glamorous image. But behind the spotlight, another story was unfolding. In the last years of her life, Marilyn Monroe was no longer the shining star she had once been. While she still worked on a few films, health problems and mental strain began to interfere with her career. She became increasingly withdrawn from the public eye, spending more time in solitude at her home. During these years, Monroe struggled with severe psychological crises, battling depression and addiction. She went through numerous rounds of therapy, but the scars of her past never fully healed. Her house, where she spent most of her time in these final years, became a reflection of the isolation she felt. It was no longer a place of joy, red carpets, and loud parties, but a space filled with silence and memories of a past long gone. Monroe often felt unloved, despite her fame and the love she received from millions of fans. She could not find peace in her personal life, which ultimately left her feeling abandoned, even as a worldwide symbol of beauty and success. The quiet house was filled with mementos of the woman she once was, yet it was a place that now only echoed with the silence of her inner turmoil. It was in this house that silence ultimately prevailed. Marilyn Monroe passed away on August 5, 1962, in a sudden and mysterious manner. Her death was initially suspected to be a suicide due to an overdose of barbiturates, but many still questioned the true cause. The death of the world-renowned star was one of the greatest mysteries in Hollywood history. However, regardless of the cause, her passing left behind a massive void in the hearts of millions. The public reaction to her death was a mix of shock, sorrow, and disbelief. She was taken at just 36 years old, at the height of her career, yet emotionally and mentally, she had been on the edge for many years. The silence that surrounded her death symbolized the loneliness she had struggled with throughout her life. Those who loved her mourned her loss, but questions about what truly happened to her remained unanswered. Why so much silence around such a great name? 5. Marilyn Monroe's legacy is not just in the films she made or the images of her beauty, but in the lessons she imparted through her struggles. Her films like Some Like It Hot, The 7-Year Itch, and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes continue to be celebrated, but the stories of her personal battles with loneliness and heartache are often overshadowed by her public image. After her death, her estate became a source of great interest, with various entities managing her assets and image. The use of her name and likeness in the decades following her death brought in millions of dollars. Yet the question remained, did this accurately reflect who she was? Or was it a mere commercialization of an icon who was never fully understood in her lifetime? Her legacy extends beyond her film career. It represents a complex mix of fame, beauty, loneliness, and the struggle for love that many can relate to, but few truly understood. Monroe's story became one of caution and contemplation about the cost of fame and the pain of being truly seen and still misunderstood. Can we really own what escapes us after death? 6. Marilyn Monroe's life was a journey from brightness to darkness, from fame to solitude. Despite being an icon of beauty and sex appeal, she struggled with deep loneliness and personal pain. Her films and roles will continue to live in the hearts of fans, but her story is more than just the glamorous facade. It is about a woman who, despite the world's admiration, never found peace within herself. Her legacy is a reminder that sometimes the most powerful people on the outside are the ones who suffer the most inside. Monroe's life teaches us about the price of fame, the vulnerability of being human, and the need to find self-love in a world that constantly demands perfection. Her passing, marked by the silence of unanswered questions, remains an indelible part of her story. True legacy is not what we possess, but what we leave in the hearts of others. Who will still remember her? And if true wealth is the memory we leave in others' hearts, silence does not kill memory, it purifies it.